Hey guys, it's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. The playoffs are finally here in the NBA, in the bubble. We've got some action to bet on. Hey guys, we've got a special deal, but act fast. For one day only, you get 25% off the entire website if you use the promo code WALL. The promo code is WALL, WALL, for 25% off. We're talking Heat Pacers with Nick from the Insiders Room. Nick, we've got the Heat favored in this one. Again, -4.5. The total is 215. The Heat winning game one, 113-101. A score that really not as indicative as the entire game. It looked like the Pacers were going to cover the entire game, and then they didn't. So, what are your feelings on this one?
Well, I gave out a play on the Pacers in that game, and of course, as you just pointed out, they just sort of faded away right near the end there. But I like the Pacers in game two. I think Indiana will throw its best possible shot it has at Miami here to avoid the 2-0 hole. I mentioned on the breakdown the other night that the Heat went 3-1 in the regular season versus the Pacers, but that Indiana scored the regular season finale win over Miami. Someone made a comment on the video in the comment section that the Heat were just playing their scrubs that night. And while that is true, I still thought it was a very important victory heading into this series for the Pacers. I also made a comment that TJ Warren was probably the best player in the bubble besides Damian Lillard. And another commentator on there pointed out that I forgot about Devin Booker. I just wanted to say that wasn't an oversight. I should have clarified further. I was speaking about players on teams which were actually making it into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's fair. I think DJ Warren, you could put him right up there with Devin Booker. And like you said, the Suns aren't even in the conversation now. So fair.
Absolutely. Anyways, that was my reasoning. Game one was back and forth. And as you have pointed out, and both of us, the Heat rallied in the fourth quarter. They pulled away. I actually have a play on the total in this one at Picks and Parlays right now. So you can head on over to the Insiders Room's homepage at picksandparlays.net to pick that baby up. But here's the reason why I like Indiana to bounce back in game two. The Pacers are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games following a straight up loss. The Heat are 3-13 against the spread in their last 16 following a straight up win of more than 10 points. The knock on Miami going into this series was its youth. Lots of these guys are now in uncharted territory. The Pacers are in the playoffs for a 4th straight year, and they were swept by the Celtics in the first round last season. Obviously, they're going to be desperate to avoid the 0-2 hole here. I wouldn't be shocked by an outright upset, but in the end, I'm going to recommend that you grab as many points as you can.
Oh, you mean on the Pacers? Where I'm leaning is the total on this one, just because I think 215 is really low, especially for a Heat team that didn't have a standout performance from their best shooter in game one. Duncan Robinson only had 6 points, and 2 for 8 from the field is not normally the standard for him. He's one of the best shooters in the NBA. 273s made at 44% shooting from the three. The only other person to do that, Steph Curry. So yeah, he's a pretty darn good shooter. So I think Duncan Robinson finds his shot here. I saw him airballing some threes in game one. I don't think that happens again. I think we see a lot of points from him. Tyler Hero only had 15, Jimmy Butler 28. So I think we see more points in this one as these Heaters shoot up, and 215 is a pretty low number. So I do like the over in this one.
Another great call. I love that as well. The last game, in the final minute, there was no scoring. It was sitting at 214, and so they just needed one more bucket to go over. So I think your reasoning is right on there, especially they got that first awkward game out of the way, the feel-out period. So yes, I would also lean to the over as well.
Right. It all looks good on paper. Just
always does.
We'll see. And as I've mentioned, these NBA games have been very unexpected when it comes to especially the sides. Obviously, the Bucks losing, that was crazy. But when you get the numbers in front of you and if you have a confident play, I think you've got to take it, because if you don't, you'll kick yourself for not listening to the numbers. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for a Heat Pacers talk on Picks and Parlays. Always good insight from Nick from the Insiders Room. Thanks, Nick, for joining us.